How sure are you of your character? If you were to go on trial for your character, how do you think that trial would go? Well, that's what Job demands in Job chapter 23, that he go on trial before God. In Job chapter 23, he opens by saying, I need to find God. I can't find you. I feel like you're totally missing. And in all the suffering, this is his prayer. Not that the suffering ends, not that the circumstances change, but that he can find God. Very much like Jesus on the cross says, my God, why have you forsaken me? This was the worst of Jesus' suffering. For Job, this is also the worst. But after he says, okay, now I think I kind of found you, Lord. Now I want to bring a case before you. Let's have a trial, a mock trial. And I'm going to tell you that I got a defamation of character suit that I'm going to bring against you, God. See, everyone says I got bad character. Everyone says I'm a hypocrite. And the truth is, I'm willing to put what you know about me out in front of the world. Now, God knows everything about you. That is a pretty serious case. He says, I have not turned aside from your ways. I have not departed from your commandments, and I have treasured your words in my heart more than even food that's necessary to keep me alive. In the middle of saying, look, I believe in my character, he even says, and I believe in your character, and I believe in you, God. He says four things that show a tremendous amount of faith. He says, number one, he knows my ways. What's that mean? That God has not forsaken him or forgotten him. He knows that about God. Feels like he has, but he knows that. He says, when he has tested me. Now, what does that tell us about Job? He knew that God was testing him, and it was not punishment. There was a purpose in this. Then he says, I will come forth as gold. That means that I will come forth means it will end eventually, this trial he's in. And then the last thing, as gold. That means this. God's going to bring good from this. So in the middle of saying, look, I'm going to put my character up against anybody. And he says, I believe in you. I believe in my character. I believe in you. I got three questions for you. Number one, do you know your ways? Job knew his ways. He says, look, I have not done this and I have done this. Do you know your ways? Number two, do you take comfort in the fact that God knows your ways? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Number three, how would this trial turn out for you? Would you say, yes, I welcome this trial to put my character, before God? Now, I'll tell you something. I read this chapter and it was like terrifying. David wouldn't say these words. King David, the man after God's own heart, is he going to say, look, you know what, let's put my character on trial before you? Probably not. In fact, he prayed Psalm 51, search me, O God, and know my heart, and try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me. I think that's a pretty good prayer for us to pray. The character of Job caught the devil's attention, caught the attention of the world. Blameless. And yet that's what you and I need to be. Blameless before God. Not before even people. You know what? Truth was, Job was blameless before God, but not before people. People blamed him. And wrongly. But your character, or really your reputation, is what people think about you. Your character is what God knows to be true about you. This is what I want us to pray for today. Pray that God will give us perfect character. And pray the prayer of David, Psalm 51. Search me, O God, know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any wicked way in me. And lead me in the way everlasting.